I welcome this bill brought by the Social Democrats. Sadly, sex for rent appears to be on the doorstep of both urban and rural communities throughout Ireland, although thankfully not hugely widespread at the moment. However, I was in shock that I read, and I thanked the Limerick Post newspaper for exposing a story of such a case in Limerick. This is probably the darkest side of homelessness, where people are desperate for housing, nearly at any cost. Minister, we can see the crisis that we have here on a housing crisis, and we can see people that are in a family situation where there's violence, and we see families that want to try and move out of this and looking for a place to escape from violence within the home or violent behaviours. And we can see what we can do as a country when the likes of Ukraine are looking for our help, that we were able to get certain accommodation and the Irish people are able to welcome in people from the Ukraine into their houses to help them in a situation of need, and which is rightly so. But we can also see premises around this country that have been closed up for years upon years. Convents and different places that have been closed up are out of use, are now being put into use to house families from Ukraine. And again, I agree with this, and this is right. But what I have to ask myself is, what have the government done for years upon years of people looking for places to house vulnerable people in situations that end up in a situation of having to put themselves in for sex for rent? That is a failure on government policy. That is a failure on government for acting. We can do it when people ask us in a situation, as I say, Ukraine. But when it comes to Irish people that has been asking for years, the government said there's nothing we can do. But we can do things. We can move mountains in this country when we're called upon a need from other countries. But when Irish people ask you, you say, no, sorry, there's no funding for this. Sorry, there's no funding for that. Vulnerable families. So things can be done in this country to help people. But the government, again, is there failing to act to protect people like the people in Ukraine and people in Ireland that are in violent situations, which are caught in a situation where they're now caught for sex for rent. That, to me, Minister, is a failure on government. And as I say, I do welcome this and I will be supporting it. And well done to the Social Democrats. Thank you.